It's my favorite holiday.
Oh, it's Halloween all year. All right, yes. I agree. I think next time we do this, we are going to have a pajama contest, and I will give away a prize. Oh, Kelly wins. Kelly, I'll send you a prize. Sorry, y'all didn't get the memo. Okay, I am so excited for this call. I haven't been this excited for a call in so long. It's so good to see your faces on here. If y'all want to mute yourselves, that would be great. Okay, so the whole purpose for this call, I'll give you the rundown of where this idea came from. In fact, this idea actually came from April, wave April, who's in her pajamas on the call. And we were talking about our team culture and why we love coaching and all of the things. And we just wanted to create a space and a call where we could invite people who aren't part of our team to come and experience this. It's exactly what this is. It's that feeling of being circled up with your friends, what you do in the summer or in the fall when you sit around the campfire with your friends and you share inspirational stories and you laugh and you cry and you eat chocolate. Kelly's got her hot chocolate, and you bond. And if I could describe what our team feels like to me, and what my favorite part of being a Beachbody coach over the last 6 years has been, is that feeling of circling up with you guys. Like I literally Cindy got on here and I almost started to cry. It's kind of ridiculous, but that's how this thing feels to me. And sometimes it's easy when we talk about coaching to be like, yeah, it's awesome. You can sell Beachbody stuff and make some extra money. And I think all of us on here would tell you that has been such a blessing in our lives. And being a Beachbody coach, yes, it gives you the opportunity to sell an amazing line of products that help people and change their lives. But if it came down to the nitty-gritty of what we love absolutely the most out of coaching and what you really get out of being a Beachbody coach, it's this right here. It's our Coach Campfire. It's being part of a team community. It's about creating that community in your own business by putting out your hand and helping other people in your life take hard steps forward and becoming healthy and fit and happy for a lifetime. It's not about running one group or doing it one time. It's when you become a coach, it's like you sign up for this family for a lifetime. And I know every single person on this call could tell you story after story after story. So what I really wanted to do tonight is it was really hard for me to decide who I wanted to ask to speak tonight. And this is why we're going to have to do this over and over, because I really feel like everyone on our team has such an amazing, moving story. But for those of you who are not coaches, I want you to hear some of the stories of people I love on this team. I love you all, but I just had to handpick tonight who were willing to share. So we're going to do this a little bit Q&A style. I'm just going to ask them a little bit about themselves, ask them a few questions about coaching. If you guys have questions for them, you can put them in the chat and I can see them. So if you put your questions for that specific person in the chat, I can ask them or they can answer them if they can see them. If not, we can do some Q&A at the end as well. So, oh, hi, look, there's Andrea's cute little boy. Half the fun of these calls is seeing everybody's babies. And Ashley, I see your face. If your baby's not sleeping, I want to see your baby. Ashley just had a baby, so I'm like dying to see that whole baby. Okay, so our first speaker tonight is Courtney. Let me make sure you're unmuted. Okay, you're unmuted. Okay, so Courtney's gonna go first. So Courtney, first of all, thank you so much for being on here. Courtney is a diamond coach on our team. So appreciate everything she brings to our team and leadership. So thanks, Courtney, for being here for us. Oh, Wait, everybody stop. Look, there's Ashley's baby. Thank you, Ashley. Okay, so Courtney, first of all, just tell us a little bit about you and who you are and your life, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
With my wonderful Wi-Fi?
We can, so far.
So, hi, everybody. I'm Courtney. I live way up in Canada. I'm in Ottawa, Ontario, in Canada. I am a wife. I've been married for almost 6 years. I have 2 kids. My daughter is, how old is she? 4.5 going on 14, and my son is 9.5 going on 18. I am a very proud, crazy cat lady. I have 5 cats at home only, and a small dog who thinks he's a cat. I am a retired vet technician and am now a full-time Beachbody coach. I've been a coach for just over 3 years now, and I am a DIY addict. Everything I possibly can do DIY, I do.
That's awesome. Can you come DIY at my house?
Absolutely, anytime.
Come do all my projects that I never get to. That'd be awesome. I love that you're up in Canada. I love that we're like coast to coast and into Canada, and now actually open in the UK. So it's pretty awesome. So I love having our friends up north, Courtney. We're so glad to have you on our team. And I love that you're a crazy cat lady. I think that's amazing. So I have goats and only 1 cat. So
I want a goat, but they tear apart grass.
They do. They do that. They tear apart mostly anything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Courtney. So one of the questions I told you I was going to ask, which I'm really excited about, is if you could describe in one word what you do as a coach every day. I know you've left your job and you do this every single day. So this is your life. So if you could describe coaching to you every day in one word, what would it be and why?
So I actually thought about this for quite a while, because to put it into one word is really tough. And the more I thought about it, there was just one word that kind of came to my mind, and that was inspire, because that's basically what I do on a daily basis. I share my story on social media. I've done that from day one. And doing that is basically inspiring other women to get healthy, to be themselves, because that's what I do, to basically just try and give themselves a chance. And so inspire is definitely the one word that came to mind when you asked me that question, above all other words. I mean, there's a lot of things we do every day as a coach, but that definitely is number one in my books. I have people come to me who I have never talked to on Facebook or Instagram, and will send me a message saying, thank you so much for posting this, or I've been following you and you're so motivating, you're so inspirational. And to get those messages is absolutely amazing when it's someone you don't even know and someone you had no idea was following you in the first place. So inspire is definitely my word of the night.
I think that's perfect. And I think probably I can see like all the little head bobs, and I think we all probably would say the same thing. And I think what's so amazing about what you said right there is that you inspire people to be themselves. And I think with coaching, it's really easy to say, oh, well, I don't have amazing abs, or I may not be at the end of my journey yet. But what's truly inspiring is that coaching just allows us to step into being ourselves and give other people permission to do the same. And I think this world needs people who are willing to just be themselves and encourage other people to just know that that's okay. And I know, like your post, Courtney, so many times, like I think we've all learned to be vulnerable in being ourselves and seeing how that helps other people have the courage to do the same. And I think you're dead on. I think that's probably the biggest thing that we do as coaches, is just inspire by being ourselves. And I just think it's incredible. So I know you've been a coach for a while, and there's been lots of ups and downs. And I think that's just natural in life, as it would be as in a business. So the other question I wanted to ask you is, what challenges in your life do you feel like being a Beachbody coach has helped you overcome?
So there, again, I kind of put a bit of thought into it, and there's two that come to mind. I'll start with one, and then we'll get to the second one. So the biggest challenge by far, I think, has always been my confidence and my self-esteem. I never ever had confidence or self-esteem in myself younger up until even just a few years ago when I started as a coach. I was always the kid who had face full of freckles that I hated. I had crooked teeth, all the kids in school, flat as a board. That was reality of elementary school, right? Being made fun of. And because of that, I basically felt this small and never had, anybody show me how to have a great self-esteem or have confidence in yourself. Without getting too personal, I ended up in a very abusive marriage that didn't help that by any means and made it 100 times worse. And getting out of that was the best thing I ever did. Since becoming a coach, it basically made me have confidence I didn't know I could have. I look back, I was thinking about this today, I look back even in my wedding pictures from almost 6 years ago, and not one picture am I actually showing my teeth when I'm smiling. And if you look at my profile, all my pictures now, I'm showing my teeth because I don't care if they're crooked. You know what? That's me. That's what makes me me. I don't care that my freckles have now turned into age spots. That's what makes me me. I don't care that my hair is now naturally growing out gray because you know what? That's me. I'm going to be 38 years old in 2 weeks. And my confidence is so high right now that at almost 38 years old, I 20 minutes ago just got back from a dance class that I'm now taking. I started 2 weeks ago doing this, and it's the most fun I've had in I don't know how many years. I feel like I'm 15 again, and it's amazing. And after having my daughter, my self-esteem and my confidence level was 10 times lower than it probably ever had been, because I had that extra baby weight that I was trying to lose. And this opportunity, being a challenger first, then a coach, it basically saved me in so many ways. And I know a lot of coaches have a similar story that, they just needed to get healthy and get out of a depressed state. That's basically my story. The second challenge, which honestly, it may sound a little bit corny to say, but I think coaching almost saved me in a sense. We're in October now. Sorry, I had to think of what month it was. So a year ago, September, so a year ago last month, I lost my dad, who was by all means the closest, most important person to me in my life. And even worse is we share a birthday, so that's even harder. But I don't honestly remember that month. It was a bit of a blur to me. And I can honestly say that the one thing that kept me going was the fact that I knew there were other people relying on me, whether it be in my challenge groups, my team. And I knew that I could not just let that all go, that this was something I had signed up for. This is something I was committed to. I had been committed to for 2 years prior. And, even if it was only once a day, I was still checking in with those people. And I think it honestly kept me sane during that time, because I don't know where I would be, honestly, if I didn't have this community, my team, my upline, everybody, people checking in with me on a daily basis, coaches I didn't really know who just knew of the situation. It's an amazing community. It's amazing to have the people around you who care, and you may not know them really, really well, but they're still there. They're still willing to be the shoulder for you to cry on. And not to make everybody depressed or anything with that story, but it really did, I think, give me the kick in the butt that I needed to get back into being an active coach, because I went downhill for a good month and didn't know how to get out of it, and this absolutely saved me. So those are my two big challenges.
Thank you, Courtney. Gosh, I mean, it's so true. I think so many of us can echo those exact lessons. Life is just I mean, I'm so sorry for your loss. And I know so many people on this team have gone through very significant losses in their lives. And I find it so breathtaking that when you hit that rock bottom in your life and you could feel so alone that you don't have to, that there are people who are going to notice that you go missing. And I think that's one big thing that I hear you saying is that, what's the difference? Like, why be a coach? Like, what's the point? Like, maybe you don't need to make all this money, but why make that leap from just being a customer to being a coach? And it's because it commits you to the community. It knits you together. It makes you responsible for each other. And I just think there's so much power in what you said. It's that you knew that people would count on you. And I think especially through times of loss and struggle, and we you were talking about your wedding pictures, about how you didn't even smile in your wedding pictures, and how much you look at yourself, and you've been through the darkest time of your life, but you still smile coming out the other side, and you recognize it. And that's pretty dang amazing. And I'm just I'm so grateful for the depth of this community as well, and to have you a part of it. And thank you so much, Courtney, for being willing to be vulnerable and get on here and share your story with us. And we're just, it's amazing to me when we do vulnerably share our stories, how much we realize how connected and alike that we are. And how coaching becomes that common vein that keeps us all pumping together, because sometimes we fall out from life, and someone has to pick us up, and coaching has really given us those people. And so that's amazing. So thank you, Courtney. I so appreciate you all the way from Canada. Thanks so much, Court.
You're welcome.
Okay, so if that wasn't amazing enough, gosh, it's so incredible. Okay, we still have 2 more people. You guys are so lucky. So, okay, so the next person I'm going to put on the hot seat is Brandy. Where are you, Brandy?
I'm here.
Okay, you are. I was I lost your video I like to look at your face when I'm talking to you. I could hold your face with my little hands.
There you go.
For those of you who know me really well, that's my thing. I'm sometimes I just want to hold your little face and tell you how much I love you. Okay. Okay. I'm so excited to have Brandy here tonight. Brandy, tell us a little bit about you and your life and who you are and all the things.
So I'm going to preface this first with, long story short, that I don't even know what that means sometimes. I tend to be a bit wordy, but I'm going to really, really try. So I'm 37. I live in Floresville, Texas. I am a mom to 4. My oldest is adopted. I adopted her when she was 8. Then I have 2 bonus babies through marriage, and then my IVF miracle, who is 2. We live in a very small town, and I'm a former Army veteran, and also a teacher veteran. And my career is kind of my work experience is super all over the place because I had no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I chased every accolade or every degree or every certificate, all these things, because I thought I needed all the things and to make myself more marketable. And none of those things fit. None of those things worked for me. And none of those things lit me up. So I'm so excited to finally step into the thing that lights me up. So that's me in a nutshell.
I love that nutshell. And I love that description of coaching, because it's it allows us to just be ourselves and call it a job. It's kind of awesome. And I love the lit up Brandy. It's awesome. Okay, Brandy. So along the same lines, what do you feel is one challenge that coaching has really helped you overcome in your life?
So like Courtney said, I'm going to have to say the biggest thing would be confidence. And I think we say lack of confidence, or you need to have confidence so much, that I think sometimes it loses it loses its meaning a little bit, or it loses its power. But I was always the kid. I was very outgoing as a kid and even in my 20s, and I'm very loud. I'm very abrasive. I have biting sarcasm, and I was the one on stage. But when I look back at that, I had this false sense of confidence. Everything was exterior. I'm a words of affirmation love language. And so I depended on other people's validation and the awards. But inside there was just an intense amount of self-loathing that I didn't even realize. When I started paying attention to the things I say to myself, I didn't even realize how negative it was and how terrible I was to myself. So coaching has given me the opportunity to step into my complete absolute truth. And I because I'm a words affirmation person, I still love to hear all those wonderful things that people want to say. But now I'm stepping into who I really am and who I'm supposed to be. And I'm getting constantly validated with that. And that's like, when you truly come forth with who you really are and then everybody loves it, that's like, wow, all these years, like I was trying to be somebody different and what I thought everybody expected of me. And so it has just completely opened me up, and my confidence is totally from the inside out now, 100%.
I mean, I find that so incredible. So like, after hearing that, what's so cool about it is the first thing that you said was, I feel like I finally found the thing that lights me up. And I feel like, gosh, like, doesn't everybody just want to feel lit up? And doesn't everybody want to feel like that comes from the inside? And I just find that amazing. And what I find amazing about that, Brandy, is what you said, now that I'm putting myself out there and it's the real me, and everybody's recognizing it, and everybody's like, oh, Brandy, you're so amazing. Oh, Brandy, you so good. And it's like, that's good and fine. But what you realize is that your worth isn't even dependent on all those nice things people say. It's like, oh, thank you. But you know that it comes from the inside. Like, I mean, is there anything more incredible than that change?
No, no, not at all.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It really is. And I think once we find that internal worth that no one can take, it's like, doesn't it just make you want to give that to other people?
Absolutely.
And
I want to give it to other people, and then it doesn't. So when the negative stuff comes my way, not saying I'm completely oblivious to it or it doesn't ever affect me, but I'm able to deflect that negativity so much easier because I know I am truly being authentic all the time. So it doesn't matter what this person's opinion is, because I know I'm representing the real me.
That's amazing. So amazing. Like, it kind of blew my mind. Okay. So with that being said, like, what do you feel like if you look at your life today, Brandy, and you go, what is the most different? What is it the most different from the Brandy that wasn't a coach? Like, what in your life looks so different from that?
Purpose. Purpose is number one. And I was an Army veteran. I was in the Army for 8 years, and then I taught middle school. So I definitely served in positions that had purpose and that I knew were meaningful, but it just, while I loved them, while I was in them, I never saw myself doing anything long-term, ever. But this is the thing, connecting with women and sharing my struggle, the things that I've been through. I never understood why I had to go through some of the things that I did. I had a very traumatic childbirth, PTSD from that, postpartum anxiety. I had no idea why that was my story. And now I share those things, and I'm connecting with hundreds of women all the time that are like, that's my story too. And I just, when I was going through some of those things, if I had had that person, it would have just helped pull me out of it. And now I get to be that person. And that it just gives me such an intense amount of purpose every single day that I wake up and I know, this is what I have to do. I have to constantly, and that's how I choose to coach. I constantly put my raw vulnerability out there, but I'm okay with that. And I love it. And because it allows me to help other people.
Wow. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, like with purpose. And like, that's pretty amazing that you've been in the Army. You've taught middle schoolers. I don't know that anybody goes into middle school without a good sense of purpose. Feeling like I'm going to make a difference here, because you're pretty much signing up for mayhem. But like, I love that you've experienced, like you said in the beginning, you're like, I went after all the accolades. Like, and what really drives purpose in our lives is that feeling like what we struggled through matters to someone else. And I just think that that's so amazing, because I think sometimes we look at our lives and we see our struggles as bad things, right? Something that happened to us, rather than something that makes us have purpose to help other people. And I love that we're all so different, you know, like I haven't been through the exact same things you have. So how in the heck can I help those people? And that's what's so cool about like being on a team, is seeing, well, Brandy went through that, and so you can help those people. And I love like that fire, you know? And I always feel like when I was a new coach, that's what got me going too, is that feeling that like, well, if I don't help that person, who's going to do it? You know, like, I know that I struggled through those things alone, but who's going to do it? Like, you see the Brandy that went through those things alone, and you're like, oh, hell no. No other Brandy is going through those things alone.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And so I love the passion, and I see it. I see it in your posts. Like, I hear it in your voice, and I like feel so honored, like, to have you on our team. So
thank you. We
sure love you.
I'm a crier. Stop it.
Is everybody crying yet? Like, is it just me over here? Like, oh my goodness, you guys are so amazing. Okay. And what's crazy about this is like, I'm looking at the faces of everyone on our team on this call, and I know everybody has equally amazing stories. We're just getting started. These calls are going to have to keep on coming. Thank you, Brandy. I so appreciate you tonight. Okay, so I've got one last person to sit on the hot seat, and I hold a special love for her in my heart, because when I say something, she does it. And when I say you can come in your pajamas, she goes all in. So, none other than Kelly in the minion costume. I love you so much. I did look like, well, at least we matched. Like, I got yellow on, so and slippers. But like, I'm gonna have to up my pajama game. Like, I'm gonna have to come in T-Rex pajamas or something next time. Oh, Kelly, you're the best.
That's me. I'm calling everyone to up their game.
Yeah, Kelly's always pushing me. She's like, how many people do you invite today? I'm at 72. Like, crazy. All right, you're amazing, Kelly. All right, so Kelly is the last person that I asked to be on this call. So I'll let Kelly give the quick synopsis of who Kelly is, besides the one in the minion costume.
So, I'm Kelly. I'm like the loudest person. I don't actually know Brandy, but she's my spirit animal. I have blue hair, so just saying, we're like here. But they're way more eloquent than me. I just say things, and yeah. I'm going to be 32 October 27th, so me and Courtney have almost the same birthday. I have an almost 4-year-old boy, and he is crazy. And I'm married, and my husband's awesome. We're trying to open our own laser tag business, so life's kind of crazy and busy right now. But yeah, that's pretty much me. I don't know what else to say. I'm really crazy. I just go for it. I'm like to say that's me in a nutshell. Like, I am the nut in the shell. Like, I'm just weird. That's me.
Everyone needs a Kelly in their life. Really.
It's true, right?
Everyone needs the nut in their nutshell, right?
That's like my team. They're like Kellys.
I love it so much. Oh, Kelly, you're fun. I love it. Okay. All right. So, Kelly, what do you think have been some of the challenges or one challenge that you feel like being a coach has helped you overcome in your life?
So I was kind of thinking as they were talking about it, and so the reason I became a coach actually was because I had just had my son. I was like 5 months postpartum, and I was going through postpartum depression like so hard, and I just wanted to like feel part of something because I was always like the social outcast in school. And kind of like what everyone else is kind of saying, like you just try to fit in and you don't want to you want to blend in with everybody else and not stick out like a minion. And so, yeah, I kind of like joined coaching so that I wouldn't feel as alone and depressed, and like I would have a group of friends. And that it really helped me a lot. Always know that you have somebody because like my husband works, he's not always going to be home, and like I worked, and so it was nice to have like a group of women to always go to. And then my second challenge actually is like similar to Courtney's. I lost my dad 2 years ago, and I had been a coach for maybe like a year or two before that. And I think learning healthy habits like how to cope with stress through exercise and like personal development, I think was a key thing. Like constantly feeding my mind with like uplifting positive things really, really helped me through like a really, really dark time. And like, yeah, as I struggle with depression and anxiety and stuff now, it's always something that I come back on like, okay, I'm stressed out. I need to go read a good book, or I need to go work out. And it's just being part of this community surrounded by people that are constantly always challenging you to up your game really helps you kind of know what to do when, life happens.
That's so true. And I think across the board, I think we could all say that the most important person you ever coach as a coach is yourself. And that even though like I see so many of my coaches on here that I was their coach, and I feel like they've been my coach. But I feel like we're all still coaching ourselves. And like you said, it's like when you hit that rock bottom, when you go through those struggles in your life, because they will come, like the storms inevitably come, it's the healthy habits in the community that we've created that keep you from falling apart, or you fall apart and you know how to pick the pieces back up, or you know how to get going again, who to talk to, who to reach out to and get going again. And I just find it like so powerful that this community and this opportunity as coaches allows us to know how to help people pick up the pieces in their lives, because we've done it. All of us have, Okay, so Kelly, if you look at the Kelly before coaching and Kelly as a coach, what do you feel like is most different from those two people?
So it's kind of the same as like everybody else, but it looks different on everybody else. Like I'm way more confident. I'm still like an extreme introvert. Like you would never know, like talking to me on like social media and stuff, but I'm like extremely introverted. But I'm like confident in who I am, and that has helped me so much when like I've had health problems, and I've been pretty real on social media about like the weight I've gained through my health problems, and I'm not afraid of that, because I think a lot of people look and they're like, oh, I can't be a coach because I'm not where I want to be. But like to me, and I think to all of us, like a coach doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you have a group of people that are there and we're working on things together. And I totally like lost my train of thought, but
No, I hear you. And
I lost it.
No, you don't. You didn't. And I think I see that a lot in you, Kelly, actually, even just in the last 6 months, right? Like, you didn't say this, so hopefully it's okay, like, for me to share this. But Kelly's actually a type 1 diabetic.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, for those of you, I mean, she deals with insulin, she deals with all those things on a daily basis. And for all of us who are like, okay, I need to lose weight, like, it's 10 times more complicated for her. You know, like, her body doesn't do that. Like, her body doesn't regulate sugar on its own. It's 10 times harder for her. And I have found it. I remember months ago, Kelly, when we talked and you saying, well, I'm a diabetic. I don't know if people will I don't know if that makes me a good coach, you know, like, you were so worried about that in the beginning, you know, and I have just watched you step into, I mean, her coach name is Miss Chronically Fit, like, which I love about her, because she basically just owns that she has a chronic illness, and you've never let it stop you. And you always, even on your worst day, find a way to, like, bring it back to having a good, positive attitude. And it hasn't been like you do a Shanti program and have a 6-pack. Like, it hasn't been easy for you. And there's been lots of ups and downs. And I have seen that massive change in your confidence of just being like, I'm going to own this and I'm going to be who I am, because I know that other people are struggling with that too. And I think that is such a real amazing lesson and thing that we can take away from this call is, no matter, everybody has something that they look at themselves and they could count themselves out, right? They could say, I'm not coach material because of this. I'm not coach material because I'm extroverted. Mine was, I'm not coach material because I don't know how to use Facebook. Legit, I did not know how to use Facebook when I started. And, you know, we all have something. But the truth is, or I'm not coach material because I'm afraid to talk to people, or I'm afraid that people are going to think I'm selling stuff, or whatever it is. Like, we could all think of 5 things that count us out. But Kelly has always been that person that has chosen to count herself in. And I mean, like I said in the beginning, I love that about her, because she's like, I'm not just going to show up. I'm going to show up as a me. So, like, I think I love this about our team. And I feel like I grow so much as a person for being around you guys. And this is why Coach Campfire is so fun, because it just feels so good to be surrounded by people who get it and who know that life's not going to look pretty. I mean, heaven forbid I don't post pretty. Like, I mean, it's just raw and vulnerable. And that is what makes it great. And so I'm just going to, it's hard to even, like, wrap this up. But I'm just going to share a couple of things from my story to wrap it up. My name's Missy, for those of you who don't know. I have been a coach for 6-ish years, and this is my team, but it's always been our team. And my biggest thing was, so much like what Brandy said, I got insanity after my 4th baby in the middle of the night. I did it in the basement with my 4 kids running in circles. I cried for the first 3.5 weeks of my first round of insanity. I hated Shanti so much, and I never thought I would finish. It took me an extra week, both rounds I did, to finish, because I quit and I had to restart multiple times. But I finished, and when I came out the other side, like, I remember finishing, and I remember feeling that sense that, like, I had accomplished something and I'd done it for myself, and nobody could do it for me, but I did it by myself in my basement, right? In my dark basement. And I just thought, you know, I don't want to do this alone anymore. Like, I don't want to, like, mom life is so lonely sometimes. I know we're surrounded by humans, like little ones or teenager ones, heaven forbid. But like so much of life as an adult, we're surrounded by people, but we don't necessarily feel like we're part of something. Like, I mean, how many times are you in a crowd of people and feel totally alone? Like, because those people don't see you. They don't know what you're going through. I mean, on the day that, you know, like my best friend passed away from cancer, it was like, I went to the grocery store and sobbed in the grocery aisle. And I'm like, how is this possible that people are still walking by buying Oreos? Like, it was the weirdest feeling. It's like, everybody else's lives go on, right? When something hard happens to you, it's like the world keeps going. But what we need in our lives, and what I realized was, I didn't want to do life alone anymore in my basement. And I remember April's on this call. She was one of my very, very best friends. And I went to her, I was like, April, you got to do this with me. Like, I'm doing insanity in my basement. And she's like, you're crazy. But look, she's still here. Like, that's what's so great about it. You know, I was so afraid. And I know, like, for people who came late to this, who didn't know me 6 years ago, I was the scaredest of all scared me. I remember trying to send an invite to someone, and I was so terrified. It took me like an hour to send one message. And I just was so afraid. But I did exactly what Brandy did. I thought, you know what? What if I don't send that message? What if I don't put my truth out there? What if I don't post my before and after pictures? It took me 6 months, by the way, 6 months into being a coach to post my before and afters. But what if I didn't? I wouldn't have all of this. Like, and it literally, like, I can't even put it into words. Like, it's incredible. And as I hear you guys tell your stories, each of us have one of those. Each of us have one of those stories where we said, I don't want to do life alone anymore. And then we realized that we needed it, and we realized that someone else out there needs us. And if we can have it from someone else, we can give it to someone else. And that is what being a coach is. Like, sure, we're all afraid sometimes. Like, sure, some people hate us on the internet. We don't care anymore. You get over it. And that's the thing about being a coach for 6 years, and you're like, oh, you don't like my no makeup? One time, I can tell you this story because it's my favorite. One time I posted a pic, I did a live. This was right after Facebook Live came out. I did this awesome live video, and I thought I killed it, right? I don't even remember what the heck I was talking about, but I get really excited. But I was on there and I was talking, and some girl sends me a message. She goes, Missy, I really think you should brush your hair before you do a live video. And I was just laughing. I was like, okay, well, this is me. I don't edit the mom life. I just don't. Like, and I love that about our team especially. Like, we don't sugarcoat it. It sucks sometimes. Like, but it's okay. Like, and so that's what I love about this so much, is that over all the years, I've just realized that all coaching is an opportunity for me to find those people that are alone in their basement and say, hey, guess what? You don't have to do it alone anymore. I'll be your person. You may live in Canada. You may live in Puerto Rico. You can live in the United Kingdom, and I can be your person. And the crazy part is Carrie's not on this call tonight. Andrea is, though, and they live in Canada. And I met Carrie on Instagram, and she lives in Canada, and Carrie is now one of my dearest friends. We met on Instagram, and she became my person. Jillian, oh, there's Andrea. Hi, Andrea. And Andrea is Carrie's, husband's cousin. I got it. Yes. Okay. And then Jillian, one of my other nearest and dearest, lives in Maine, and in Maine, Portland, Maine. And I live in Portland, Oregon, like opposite sides of the country. And we also met on Instagram. And now she's one of my people. And Ashley's on this call. Ashley is the best friend of my husband's sister. Yeah. And like, it's crazy to me. Like, it's crazy to me how we all got here, but I'm just so dang grateful that we're not all in our basements doing life alone. So for those of you who are listening to this call that are like, why on earth should I be a coach? Because you can be that person for someone else. I don't care if you have goals to make $1 million or $5. It doesn't matter. Okay. The minute you realize that you have become that person for someone else, something in your heart, in your life changes forever. And I promise you, you will bleed Beachbody Blue until the day you die, because you realize that someone's life changed forever and you get to have them as one of your people. And it's amazing. I remember one time I was really struggling with like inviting people to my challenge group. I was like, oh, what if they think I'm weird, whatever. And I remember getting this message from this girl on my Facebook page. And she sent me this message and she's like, hey, Missy, like, I see you post and I just really need something in my life. I need to work out. And I could have just said, okay, here's the link to buy. Because I think sometimes with this type of business, people think that's what we do. Maybe other people do that. But on our team, we don't do that. We're here for people. We love people first. And let me tell you what happened. So this girl is like all but ready to just join my thing, right? She's like, where do I sign? I'll give you my credit card, right? And I backed up a minute because I just didn't know her. Like, I didn't know what like her life was about. I didn't ask her the question, who are you, Brandy? Like, right? Like, if you don't know someone, how can you truly help them as a coach? So I backed up and I was like, okay, I know I could just send her the link to buy something, but I didn't. And in that moment, I gained a person because I asked her the question. I said, well, why is this so important to you? And she proceeded to tell me the story of how she'd been in bed for 6 months because she'd had a miscarriage and she was absolutely devastated. And she just didn't think that she could do it anymore. And I just stopped and I thought, she's the person in the basement. Like, it's her. And if I wouldn't have stopped and asked that question, if I would have thought as coaching is just a way to sell stuff, I wouldn't have had that experience. And guess what? I didn't just help her, but I was helped too. Because I think the more we stand with people in their struggles, the more we grow too. And the more our lives are filled with love and compassion and the ability to grow ourselves. And that's what we do here. Sure, we give people tools like Shakeology and Beachbody On Demand, and we give people those tools to change their entire lives. And if you haven't seen enough faces on this call, like, look around. Every single face on this call could tell a story like that. And that's the truth. And it's as real and raw and vulnerable as that. And like, I am just so darn grateful to have these people in my life. And I hope you feel like we've created this atmosphere tonight that you could like wrap up in your blanket and say, yes, I want to be that person. Because I know I do. And I know that every single coach on this team has mattered to me, and that they have gone out and mattered to at least one other person. And how can you really put a measure on one person? It doesn't matter if you make $1 million or $5, like I said, but that one person matters. That one person in the basement who you reach out your hand to and change their life will change yours. And that is why, my friends, you need to be a coach and be on our Coach Campfire. So I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. It absolutely made, I don't know, like my year. It feels so good to see all your faces. I will put this recording up so you can share it, or listen to it again when you need a pep talk, because that's what I might do. And I'm so grateful you guys are willing to get on here tonight and circle up with me and sacrifice time with your families. And you guys are amazing. So I love you. Thank you, Ashley, for showing me your baby. Okay. I'm going to end the recording.